Hey guys, and welcome back to my geography channel. It's a Monday, so we are back, and today it's a different kind of video. We are drifting away from the Empire series, but we still have it, don't worry. Today we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where all of these countries go to war. I got inspired by a YouTube short asking which team would win, and I thought I can answer that question. But that means we are going to be taking a look at this scenario. Africa and Asia are completely distorted because I took this map from a YouTube short. Like, I took the little square box, like as you can see here the lines line up, and then here two, and here two, and then here two, and here two, and then lines up on top here, and then here. That was the box I added into this map. So Africa's gonna be distorted today. I hope you guys can forgive me. This Caspian Sea is looking rather weird. Let's get into this. So this scenario includes a war with the 1939 borders, where we can see Nazi Germany occupying the Sudetenland. Ooh, this looks evil. In Czechoslovakia, actually already having declared war. I mean, this is weird because after they annexed the Sudetenland, it was still one big country, Czechoslovakia, but just without the Sudetenland. But then they split it. Can you guys tell me an explanation in the comments? Yeah, and Hungary also took those lands they had here in the south. Like, it was something like this. I think it's like that. I mean, after Nazi Germany annexed the Sudetenland, they declared war on Czechia and used Slovakia as a puppet state, and it was something like this. But here we have Czechia as well. So we've got Nazi Germany occupying the Sudetenland with Czechia and Slovakia, Switzerland and Luxembourg against the United Soviet Socialist Republics, or USSR, or Soviet Union, whatever you want, Poland, Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia. That's a weird team because at the end, the border would look something like this. Against Turkey, Greece, Albania, Yugoslavia, Hungary, Romania, and Bulgaria. Against France, which controlled Syria, Lebanon, North Algeria, and French Guiana. They controlled more, but it's not represented in this map. So how about we act as if it never existed? Spain, controlling north of Morocco. They also controlled the Spanish Sahara, like something like this, but we're not including it today. Measly Portugal. They did have many colonies, but they're not showing, okay? Italy, but we're not showing Libya. I mean, they had a big chunk of land over here. Belgium, which controlled the Congo. Why am I saying that what country they controlled? Like, this is useless, but Netherlands, I believe, controlling Indonesia. So here, but I don't know, guys, okay? I mean, they did control, I remember that, because Japan attacked the Dutch East Indies. The UK here controlling Jordan and Kuwait, nothing more, guys. And Ireland. Oh, and Iceland here. Denmark, which controlled Greenland. This is gonna be a sensitive scenario for some people, including me because I'm Jewish, but this is just a fun scenario. No offense to anybody. This is like a Nazi Germany, but just with their power. Nothing with the Holocaust, nothing, okay? We're just talking about their manpower and stuff. I don't want to be rude to anybody. So, for some reason, they're all in war, and you can see I had all of the capitals, but the first thing this orange team does is they go after measly Luxembourg, and after half of their country is gone, they surrender. They already lost one country. Oh my gosh. Okay, Germany. I don't know if I have a bias for this red team because I live in Switzerland here in Geneva, but I also hate Nazi Germany. Let's go on. I don't know. I'll just see about power. I don't have a bias towards anyone, okay, guys? Then, sadly, this time without the USSR's help, they start invading the north of Poland, which is heavily militarized, but it's still going. And please remember, we're still in 1939, because if we were like in the present day, maybe it would be harder for the red team. And just remember, we're in 1939. This is all Germany can do because Poland is really, really heavily militarized this area, like about here. With the help of the Balkans, Hungary can cut Slovakia off from this eastern part, which I forgot the name, dang it, and they grabbed it. And I guess Slovakia is getting flashbacks from 2024. They can also almost immediately capture the Slovak capital. So Bratislava is gone as quickly as it survived. They also make a push from the west, from Hungary and Yugoslavia, to grab the major city of Vienna, which was the capital of Austria. But Austria's gone in this scenario. But that's all the fun from the purple team, because troops from Slovakia make a move to surround Budapest, the capital of Hungary, and Budapest is surrounded. Switzerland can make a small push towards these poor places in France, but when they hit the Italian border, they don't, because that's the Alps and you can't hit the Alps. But they can only do a small push from Geneva, because these places are like poor and stuff. Like, they're not really poor, but they like need a bit of money. I mean, it's less rich than Switzerland, okay? But Switzerland is uninvadable, so because in the south you can't, because there's the Alps, there's Germany here protecting them, and from here they could, but Switzerland's just uninvadable. So if you don't know what I mean, you can watch some shorts on YouTube. They'll explain why Switzerland is the least invadable country in the world. Anyways, Germany from the west, they make a push to recapture Alsace-Lorraine, but this place is really like rich and developed by now, so it goes like something like this, and so they can make it ends up as this. And they don't want to recapture Luxembourg because they don't appreciate the fact that it just surrendered immediately. This time Sweden does not defend Denmark, they actually invade, and they have the capital of Copenhagen. They grabbed it, they invaded through this bridge they had, the Danish-Swedish bridge. Troops invaded the entire island of Copenhagen. Scandinavian troops capture the entire island of Copenhagen, and the only thing the yellow team can do is make a small landing off of the east coast of Greenland. There isn't anything here, it's really mountainous terrain. I mean, not too mountainous, but a bit mountainous. And this is cold. The closest city to them would be like here, and then Nuuk is here, the capital. So there's literally nothing here, so they can do just this and maybe a few more landings. But British and Irish troops coming from Iceland just give up and stop this push into Greenland. Oh yeah, and one more thing happening to the British, Irish, and Icelandic troops from French Syria, which is still a stable place, enter the north of Israel and western Jordan. They don't invade this desert place, just call it conquered, and stick along the cities and the Jordan River until they can split the place into two. An independence for Israel movement appears, and a Palestinian one too. And so the orange team says no, and they just invade everything. It's France, Italy, and mainly France coming from Syria, but they capture Jerusalem and Tel Aviv and like everything. And this place gets invaded a bit more until they surrender at the end. And I guess the French Navy can go out through the Suez Canal, which I think was built already. Actually, I don't know, but they go through this place, I don't know what it's called, and then go through the Persian Gulf, and then they get to Kuwait. It was closer than they anticipated, and Kuwait's gone. But aside from that, Turkish troops invade through the north of Syria, just as they're doing in real life. They can grab some major cities in the north, and they try to grab Damascus and Aleppo, the major cities of Syria, and they can do it pretty easily until they're blocked by Lebanon, who are saying no way. By the way, love Lebanon, beautiful country, just horrible government. They're blocked by Lebanon and they can only grab this. And they try to make a few pushes along of the Jordan Desert, but at the end, the French can push them back, and they try again. They're pushed back because all the Syrian people came here, so it stalemates the border. Now, Germany starts with their never-old Opération Paris, which means they're gonna march into Paris. So they put all their troops towards the west to Alsace-Lorraine, and this place is pretty well defended. So they go through Belgium, and it's still defended. So they go to the north, they capture Brussels, and they go from here, and they can go in and grab Paris from France. France is dead. France is a dead man. Oh my gosh. British troops land in the north of France in Brittany, and they can invade a bit, but they are stopped by the Nazis, if we can call them that, as they march deeper into France and cut the British off from the rest, and they try to grab the west coast, which I've heard is beautiful and amazing. I've never been there, sadly, but I heard it's rich too. Some parts. They can go like until here, and then France is not allowed to surrender by Italy and Spain and Portugal. They do not allow them to surrender. So Germany will have a hard time invading until they do, and they can grab all the southern part, which is really rich. But at the end, France is forced to surrender as they do not have any more valuable land. So the French are stationed in Algeria and over here in Jordan and Israel and Kuwait. I mean, I guess it was called Palestine at the time, but okay. But at the end, the Turks can push into Lebanon, and Jordan, Israel, and Algeria and Kuwait, they're protected by the French people who all fled to these places, okay? So it's not all the Arabs going to France, it's the French going to these places. I mean, it's technically theirs, so I do not condone colonization and anti-Semitism in any way, guys, okay? Please just understand that. Let's take a look at Budapest. So Budapest was surrounded because most of the Hungarian troops were stationed elsewhere, like these other countries. Budapest was sadly captured by the Germans and Czechs and Swiss and Danish, but they can like surround some Slovak land and try to push back from their territory, but it's really hard for them because all of their troops were stationed elsewhere. They can surround this red part and they can get Budapest back. When they enter Budapest, they can see the city's destroyed, completely destroyed, like burnt, like to ashes, like to pieces. It was horrible. And here's another city I've been in Hungary, which is one of the major cities too. It's Debrecen, and they placed their new capital there. But this purple team is managing to stand pretty until you hear Jinx and Soviet troops and Polish troops push from the north, and they capture Moldova from the Romanians, and PTSD, they grab Debrecen and they don't go out of it. Hungary is literally dead. Like, there's that city name that I can't pronounce over here that I just looked at on maps, but I don't know. I mean, they're gonna put it in this little city, but their capital is gone. Their capital is still in Debrecen, but it's gone. But they can remove troops from Austria to try to push the Soviets out of Romania and actually out of Debrecen, but the Soviets are strong and they won't get out. So they can narrow this little push down to try to surround it. And guess what they do? They cut them off and they try to get Debrecen back, and they can get Debrecen back until they hear a horde of crazy Russians who want Debrecen. Like, we want Debrecen. They're going deep inside of Hungary and Romania, and Hungary just decide to leave Debrecen as their capital on the documents, but just control their country from somewhere else, which they won't tell, because then the Soviets would go. The Poles and the Soviets make a deal for the Soviets to invade northern Hungary, and the Poles would cut the Balkans from the rest of Slovakia, and they can slowly invade it at their own pace, but that was quick because they are strong. Slovakia is just getting bullied at this point. Like there's Soviets in there, there's Balkans in there, oh my gosh. At the same time, the Yugoslavs can go and grab this panhandle of Croatia, and which I think is called Dalmatia, but they can do all this until they meet the Italians, which do. They fortify their border with France, but so much with so many soldiers, so they were able to lose Dalmatia for a few minutes until crazy Italians stormed in from the east and just grabbed it back. But they left to go fortify the troops again. So guess what happens? You guessed it! It's a bit back and forth from here. Like they leave some troops here until it's like stalemated at this border. Like the Italians agree that they'll let them stay here in order for them to not make a move on the Italians in like a year, you know. I guess, I don't know, would that be possible, guys? The northern Italians and southern Swiss are looking at each other like, we are really similar, why are we at war? Actually, Italy was really aggressive in the 20th century. Okay, but now the Nazis have been waiting to do something they've been wanting to do in a really long time. They're gonna invade Poland, which means the USSR, because the USSR is protecting Poland. So they are invading deep into Poland with some hungry Germans. Surrounding at the end, Warsaw is captured by the Germans. God knows what they're doing in Warsaw, guys. But Soviet troops from the north can go and secretly have a bit of a campaign here, invading East Prussia. And it goes until here, and then it stalemates the border. Okay, now the Dutch are scared because they're the only ones standing. And guess what happens? They lose their war against the Germans and the water because they're dead. Nowadays, they do have this like place back, right? It's more like this. Before, they lost this place to the water, but they're winning the war, guys, in 2024 with the water, if you don't know. Okay, British troops cross into this German-occupied territory of northern France. Backfires because Nazis storm into France. This is the British dream come true, the occupation of France, but the Germans are just crushing that dream. D-Day Part 2 fails. D-Day Part 3 fails. D-Day Part 4 does not fail. Okay, German troops surround London, and it just stays like this. Stalemated because Irish and British troops go here and can surround the place back, and troops immediately flood in from the north, and there's a bit of back and forth, but you can see that the Brits are successful in this war. The Germans are like, should we liberate Luxembourg or should we not? Because now there's like 500 French people hiding in Luxembourg, and Luxembourg just surrendered without approval from any of these red countries. But at the end, they choose to do so because they want to win the war. The Spanish try to invade France and Andorra further, but doesn't work because Catalonia wants independence. But anyway, I don't think they did want independence at that time. So anyways, there's Germans there. It goes as deep as this because Germans see what's happening, and so Spain retrieve all their troops from France and they line them up around this mountain range, which I forgot what the name was. Shoot me. I don't care actually. Please just tell me in the comment. Also, if I've said anything wrong throughout this video, please correct me in the comments. Please, okay? Thank you, guys. Finnish troops from the east invade the Kola Peninsula, as well as Norwegian troops, and they can invade through the east because no one is protecting these areas. They grab a lot of these places. Nukes weren't invented yet, thank God, in 1939. And they can grab St. Petersburg, which I think at the time was called Leningrad, but they grabbed St. Petersburg, as well as going and grabbing the capital of Estonia, Tallinn. They can capitulate Estonia, so Estonia surrenders, and they can stalemate the border at like here, and they stop because the Russians are hangry. The hangry Russians can try. They failed miserably, so they decide to leave the border here and continue fighting for the Poles. They can do this, but then they're stopped The Soviets and German figure out a peace treaty, guys. And literally everyone recognizes it. That's weird. Do I recognize it? Yeah, I do. Now, something happens. The Germans, Nordics, and Balkans forge a treaty to all invade the USSR at the same time. And they all accept. And so firstly, power-hungry Turks from the east try to liberate the Caucasus. They get into the mountains and they can liberate Armenia, and they're liberating Azerbaijan. They then cross the Caspian Sea to liberate all of Turkmenistan, which we're seeing it badly, as well as Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and finally the big one, Kazakhstan. All the Turks can do this because they also fund some rebel groups over here in these areas. So it goes until here, until they're 100% stalemated. They can go a bit through these mountains and go in the Ural River, but then oopsies, they're cut off. So they immediately start a run to go back, and they can do it. They've got a few separate paths. If they were one, it would be better, but there are a few separate paths which can cut each other off, and they can slowly grab them back, and they can cut this part off. But the Turks have fled until here, and they're getting wiped out slowly. That was a lot of Turkish people. It goes until here. The Soviets try to push them out, but they're unable to, as German troops from the west of the Soviet Union can literally invade all of Poland, and Poland surrenders. They also grab Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania. Lithuania surrenders. They cut off this Russian claim on Moldova and stuff, and it goes until here. They have a non-aggression pact with the purple team and the green team, so they can't invade each other until they're done with the USSR. They make a push for Riga, but it does not work as Nordic troops already got Riga. Latvia surrenders to the Nordics, and while the Germans are out of this region, the British just have a fun time crossing the Channel and invading northern France, facing the resistance of some German soldiers stationed over here, but they can still do it, and they can invade the Netherlands and Belgium, but this stopped here as Nazi forces show up. The Spaniards, they can grab the southern French coast, and they make a move to recapture Paris. Plot twist, they grabbed Paris. Oh my gosh, they can invade the British over here a bit because they're having France, and this is really strong for the Spaniards and Italians. They don't really do this much. Then they make a move with the Brits, and they say, let's just give the part west of this line to the Germans, and the rest we're gonna reconquer. And the British are like, okay. And so they come out of this eastern part from the border that they invaded before, and they do something like this. I mean, they won't do that because they have it, okay? And they fortify this border. The southern border would go to something like this, you know? So the Italians can finally grab all of this land east. Maybe they make a pact with Switzerland to only grab that, so Swiss troops can retrieve. They've restored the French government. They say they leave Flanders to the British. So something like that, and the rest goes to the Spanish and Italian push that forms something like this. Okay, so I didn't draw the line perfectly. It's like that. Since they're in a non-aggression pact, the Germans can't invade the Soviets over here because it's technically Romania. I mean, they could get away with it maybe, but nah. So the Romanians can kick the Germans out, the Russians out of their territory up north. The Germans forgot that some Soviets are here in their soil, but so they invade everything. It's just they can't invade this part because it's under the control of Hungary and Yugoslavia and those Balkan troops, so they can't invade each other. Hungarians can see that their new capital was destroyed too, but they were fixing up Budapest. Wait, did they have Budapest? No, they didn't. Well, they decided to build a new capital and place it here. Really far far from mean people who don't like them. I mean, maybe the Soviets could have won, but you know that it would be really probable for people to unite against the Soviet Union. Also because of their crimes against humanity, like communism is bad, guys. Okay, I mean, I tried to fix this border and just made it thicker than every other border ever. The Germans thought of this and they cut the Romanians off from Ukraine. So that was smart, and everyone's mad at Romania for no reason though. But all the Balkan troops, I mean, they've got some here stationed, but not counting those, all the Balkan troops help them push out the Soviets, and they surround the Caspian Sea. They link up with this Turkish claim, and they can push out the Soviets from the Russian Republic or the Russian Oblast. So German dreams of capturing, but the Nazis managed to capture Crimea, and they can liberate Ukraine, and Ukraine doesn't want to be liberated. They liberate Belarus. Oh my god, I forgot about this. The Germans make a land exchange with the Balkans to make it look like this. Scandinavian and Finnish troops manage to invade from here, and they've made a pact with these other countries that they would only grab this part of Moscow, where the Germans would grab this part, and like the Balkans would grab that part. Okay, so they've grabbed their part of Moscow, and they don't want horrible borders, so they're just leaving it that way. They're not going into Moscow yet. They don't see a reason to invade all of this northern part from Russia, so they just surround a huge part and claim it as theirs. And like there's 300 people living in this place. They do this again until the other countries say stop that, and they do stop it. So they just advance like this, slowly, and the Russians are like stop. Okay, they have all this useless part of Russia. I don't know why they said stop. I mean, maybe they want to make like a Russian free state over here in the east, maybe, probably, I don't know. And that's exactly what they did. They said, no one advances east of this line. And let's make this like new Russia region orange, because this is like what all of them are invading. So this is like the invasion of everyone combined to make a new state. But still, this green team decide to make some small pushes here, and they stop like about here. The Germans invade this part into the Russian Oblast itself, and they can grab this part of Moscow, and they still don't go in, as they plan to go in all together. They can invade a bit from this part, but they stop because of Russian resistance. I mean, they can still do it, but they just stop for a bit. And Balkan troops come, and Balkan troops go towards Moscow by just going here, and they claim all this land, and the Germans claim all this land here. The Nordics and Balkans split this part equally, and I mean, maybe not equally, I didn't calculate, and here is Moscow equally split between 3 teams, and the Nordics sue for this part to be abolished, for this line to be abolished, and they get it because it would be kind of unfair, so I mean, it would be kind of weird. So it goes something like this, and either of these countries work separately to make their separate puppet states over here in Russia, or they work together to make one big Russia. I think they're gonna be making one big Russia under both of their regimes. I mean, the Balkans and the Nordics, they already have their regime. Then Russia surrenders. The island of Sakhalin is split between Japan and Russia. I forgot that, guys, but that's it. But after they got all this Russian land, they go back to fighting, and they sign a pact to not fight beyond these borders, and they sign a peace treaty with Russia. Here we have Germany, which have all of Western Poland, and they have puppeted Belarus, they have puppeted Northern Lithuania and a small part of Latvia. They have puppeted this, which I don't know what it is, I just played it as Poland, Slovakia, Ukraine, and stuff. Yeah, something like that. I made a small Ukraine. We've got a big Ukraine, a little Belarus, a Moscow state, and that's it for the red team. Oh, and they've also expanded the Slovak panhandle. I mean, I know, it's weird to look at, but after a few minutes, you'll get used to it. It's not gonna be weird anymore. Here we have Finland getting strong. Norway and Sweden didn't get anything. They just got a lot of money, I guess, and maybe control over these regions. Finland is a super state, and they have a super Estonia and a super Latvia, but just without this part. It's fine. They have St. Petersburg, but their capital is still at Helsinki, of course. They have a Moscow state too, and a huge country that I was gonna split into two like that. But guys, the population of this is like 55, and this one probably like 60. So nobody needs a country with a population of 115. So it's just a big country. Like, Russia would be balkanized if there were more people there today. But anyways, this Balkan country has a big Turkey, which has control over Syria, and they have a tiny little Lebanon here. Turkey has also united with Azerbaijan. There is a Georgian state over here and an Armenian state, with the Georgian state at their capital at Tbilisi and the Armenian capital at Yerevan. Then there's this country, I think it would be called Azov because of the Sea of Azov, and their capital is here right next to Crimea. And they have a huge Moscow country going till here, but Russia is a huge country today and it goes until here. But they're also the country that has given independence to the most countries. They have a Kazakh state, okay. And they have an Uzbek, Tajikistan state, a Kyrgyzstan, and a Turkmenistan. But I guess, like, maybe, I mean, if I were Turkey, I would just do full-on Central Asian country. But I guess, like, they could have a peaceful Kyrgyzstan and Tajikistan, or like unite everyone, because it's good to be united, like fun, hashtag we love each other, you know. I would love that. And then a Kazakhstan state and a huge Moscow state, you know. I think I would do that. I know it's weird, the Caspian Sea. Ugh, you'll get used to it, guys. I think you already did, but if you didn't, you'll get used to it. But the war still continues. Oh my gosh. Now, I don't know if they would fight on Russian soil or not. I think they wouldn't, actually, because what do they have to do with this war? Like, nothing. I know this one here is not gonna join the war. How about Belarus and Ukraine? I think they're gonna be in the war. I think. I mean, this Moscow state, all three Moscow states will not join. And I guess Estonia and Latvia will join because they have stuff to do with this war. It's just the Russian states. I mean, I'm skeptical about Ukraine and Belarus. Then the orange and yellow teams decide to give each other the Netherlands and Belgium. So they push into the Netherlands and they push into Belgium until they can give each other the amount of land they need and then just stop. This land also could be considered historically British because there was a war here in La Rochelle. Brittany was British for a while and Normandy too. So this place probably too. I don't know, guys. I mean, I just told you I know. So they establish a French state here, a French government, and they just let Alsace-Lorraine be part of Germany. And so they also grabbed this place invaded by Geneva, and they can't get beyond the Swiss because they've been flexing their muscles. But then the Balkan troops say, we're back, and they're completely obliterating Czechia, grabbing Prague, and Czechia surrenders. They also managed to capture all of Slovakia, and they start a movement to free Austria, and some Austrians agree, but they're like in the Panhandle, and like some Austrians here in the Sudetenland agree, but they're pushed back by the Germans, and the Austrians try to connect, and they manage to connect. And then everyone says, let's go against Germany, and like everyone just goes against Germany. From Romania they start a push, and actually from Bessarabia and from the western part, which finally decide to join the war. They start a push over here. They get Donetsk, Luhansk, and this red Moscow team also joins the war, which triggers this Moscow team to join the war too. And they invade south, grabbing that country's Moscow, the western Moscow, and that causes this country to capitulate, and they can grab Kiev from this huge Ukraine. So one country has two Moscows. Oh my gosh. That triggers the green Moscow to join the war. So Finnish troops can enter through this Moscow country. At the end, the red Moscow surrendered to Finland, and Latvia and Estonia make a push to Lithuania, and once they grab Vilnius, red Lithuania surrenders. The mustache man rejected from art school is getting some PTSD from 1945, and so Minsk is captured in Belarus, and Belarus still holds strong. They can grab Poland. Denmark surrenders. That was more than 6 hours. Congratulations, Denmark. The purple team make a large push from Ukraine to finish off Ukraine and Belarus. They have all of East Prussia. Italian forces cross the Alps, and it's really hard, but they, for some reason, managed to invade Switzerland. I don't know how that would be possible. They also grab Liechtenstein, but then it all capitulates because people don't like Italy. I mean, only here in Switzerland, there's only one canton, I guess, that speaks Italian. It's this one, and Italy can only stay there until the Swiss are like fighting hard, okay? They're like trying, but Italy has like literally all their troops there, the troops that are not here. At the end, Swiss troops can grab the Tessin region. I think in Italian it's called Ticino. And then Switzerland says, I'm done, leaving the war. They will still join for peace talks at the end, but they're like, let's have a peace treaty now. I don't want war anymore. Poor Switzerland, just wanting to be neutral, was forced into a war scenario. Whoa, Switzerland is weird. They've expanded from Geneva, but Switzerland give up. They're like, shut up, Germany. I don't want to fight anymore. Like, my people don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. Goodbye. And they just stop. So Norwegian and Swedish troops from Denmark storm in from the north, and they can capture a lot of land over here, and they stop at Berlin. French troops go back into Alsace-Lorraine. Luxembourg just surrenders, and French troops flood into Germany from the east to the west. And they let Bavaria be itself, and they stop here, and they go to Berlin. They have all the Rhineland and stuff, and now the British do the same, literally exactly the same, and they stop at Berlin. And now Austria is fully liberated, and the Sudetenland is liberated, and Poland gets liberated, while this Balkan purple team stop at Berlin, and they can invade Bavaria, and the rest is grabbed by Norway, Sweden, and Finland. Let's see the peace treaty with Germany. Ooh, okay, so here we have France is back, controlling the Rhineland. We have West Germany. We have Northeast Germany. We have, this is all controlled by the UK, right? So we have Netherlands, British Netherlands. We have British North France, and we have Northern Germany controlled by them. And here we have Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia expanding very much. there's only 2 Moscow states left, this one and this one, and this one decides to unite with that one because the population is 115, and it was useless, and so they're getting controlled by Moscow again. And a few more countries decide to leave the war as it is no longer necessary for them to be in this war, such as Ukraine, Azov, and this Moscow state, Kazakhstan, and already left the war, but basically just these countries, as well as I'm hesitating between Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania. Did they leave the war? No, they're staying. So just that. War is still here. Let's see what happens. Turkey, they want power. They grab all of Israel and all of Jordan, and then it surrenders, and they do the same thing that France did, and they invade Kuwait. Who do you guys think is gonna win? Tell me in the comments, like right now before it goes. The orange team make an advance on New Austria, and their goal is to grab Vienna, and guess what happens? They invade Yugoslavia, surround Dalmatia, and they capture Vienna. Austria surrenders. Dalmatia goes back to their control. Italy funds some rebel groups all across Yugoslavia, and they promise them independence, and so the Croats leave, the Croats rebel, the Bosniaks rebel, the Macedonians rebel, and so it becomes easier with Republika Srpska surrounded and invaded, and this part too, and then Serbia, the Montenegrins rebel with a lot of money, and we recognize this, they even fund a Kosovo, and then Albania's like, oh shoot, and then they're done. Tirana is captured, they surrender. Serbia stands strong, but Belgrade is captured, so Serbia finally ends up by surrendering, and they try to enter this new capital of Hungary, but it's impossible, guys, literally impossible. At the same time, the green team grab Northwest Berlin, and Northwest Germany surrenders. They then quickly into the Netherlands, which stands strong and don't surrender, while French makes a push to kick out the British and Irish from their territory, and they can do it. The Brits don't surrender at all, but at the end they do, and they surrender here in the Netherlands. Now the Scandinavians land in East Scotland, and all of Scotland rebel, and the French troops cross the English Channel, and they get to London, and then Cornwall rebels, and then they can go up, and then Wales rebel for some reason. Alaman is gone, and the French captured some really important major British cities, and the French make a landing in Ireland, and they can capture Dublin, which causes Ireland to cripple, and they surrender, and Northern Ireland surrenders to the Nordics. Oh, and I forgot about Greenland. Yeah, it became all yellow, and then it became all green, because now it's green. Okay, so the Soviets, Germans, and British are gone. Oh my gosh. The Nordics try their best to capture the island of Ireland, and they can do it, but the French stand strong in England and Wales and Cornwall. The Italians start their push on Greece. Thrice surrenders immediately, the mayors, the constitutions surrender. The Peloponnese surrenders, Athens is captured, and Crete is captured. Turkey decide to leave this war for protection, and they leave Lebanon and British Palestine, I guess, unprotected, with Cyprus and Kuwait and the entire Balkans, and I guess you can see where this is leaning. The green team start their push from Latvia, and then from Lithuania, and then from North Germany towards East Germany, and Poland, I guess, not East Germany, with Warsaw and Berlin. I think their capital would be Warsaw, I guess, but Warsaw's captured then, and their capital is not Berlin, and Berlin is captured, and they have Berlin from 3 sides. Oh my gosh. Poland surrenders. The green team start their push into Bessarabia, and then from East Romania, and they try to capture Prague, but the Italians got it first, and they grabbed the new capital of Hungary for some reason they were able to this time. And from Serbia, they go into Sofia. Bulgaria is captured, and into Western Romania. Hungary surrenders, Bulgaria surrenders, and Czechoslovakia finally surrenders. The orange team goes in from the west of Romania, go towards the west of Romania, but at the end, the Scandinavians get Bucharest and Romania surrenders. Oh, and French people come back to capture what theirs. This was like a World War II. Oh my gosh. France is separating Bavaria from Germany because they don't want a big Germany again. Austria has all of Bavaria to itself. There's a little Czech territory, Czech country, I guess, puppet of this orange team, and there is a Czechoslovak green team country. Here there's Hungary, just it's in the orange team. There's West and East Romania. I guess this would be called Bessarabia, but Bessarabia is only this. I mean, Romania and Bessarabia, let's just do it. There's Bulgaria here. There is Albania, which is part of Italy, and I forgot to tell you guys that Italy is doing a 2.0. What do you guys think of this first step? Italy is annexing all these lands, and the rebellious groups they funded are mad because they didn't get their independence they promised, but they're still doing something. They're giving like a little Croat state independence. They have a Macedonian state with Macedonia proper too, so there's no problem with the north. And there's a little Bosnian state over here, but at the end, you know what happens? They have autonomy. But Italy, do you trust Italy? I guess the Kosovo state they funded survived. Next thing they do is go to war with the green team. Let's see who wins. You guys make your guesses in the comments. Who wins, green or orange? First things first, the orange team from Romania unite both Romanias, I guess Bessarabia with Romania, and Czechia wants Czechoslovakia to be under their control. After all, they own Prague, so that's what they do. And so Romanian and Hungarian troops go through the north, and Czechoslovakia surrenders, and they try to go in through southern Poland, but it does not work. English troops, because England is a country now, go to Scotland for a holiday. After Edinburgh was captured, Scotland surrenders, and then they get Northern Ireland to rebel, and they get all of Ireland surrenders. But still, the green team does not give up as they capture South Berlin, and they get South Germany to surrender, and they can capture the Rhineland, but it stalemates from here, and they try to get Bavaria to themselves, but it also stalemates from here. As orange troops try to capture Warsaw, and they capture Warsaw, the capital of Poland. Poland surrenders. Wow. And they make a move for Amsterdam, and guess what? The Netherlands surrender. Oh my god, who's gonna win, guys? Green team troops finally are able to cross into Austria, and they make up a spearhead towards Vienna. Vienna is captured, but Austrian troops do the smart thing. The spearhead gets cancelled, and guess who just lost so many troops? The green team. So Bavaria is captured again, and then they try again to link up through here, and they manage to link up, and they can grab South Berlin back. And now they have about the same number of troops, but way more territory than the green team. North Berlin is captured this time, and this prosperous northern Germany, way stronger than South Germany, ends up surrendering. Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania think about leaving the war, but then the orange team start their advance and capture Vilnius, and Estonia and Latvia says, we're gonna fight for Lithuania. They try, but it does not work, and Estonia and Latvia, after Lithuania surrenders, decide to leave this war. But still, the orange team declare war on Estonia and Latvia because they capture Riga, and they want to in an easier way, go to there. So they capture these islands and Latvia surrenders, and they go capture Tallinn in Estonia. They're not as loyal to Estonia, and then after some rambling, Estonia is forced to surrender. Did you guys think the orange team is gonna win? Oh my gosh. Can the green team turn this around? The green team force this Moscow to join, but this Moscow has a population of 5,000. So they invade from Estonia's east, and they can get to Finland. They grab the major Finnish city of St. Petersburg, and they cut Finland off from this side, but they still have that side. So they try their best to cut Finland off, and they can do it. They cut Finland off from those seas. So they are disconnected from this part, and no one lives here, and it surrenders. Moscow is captured here, and so there's nothing we can do. Then Denmark does not last, as they think there's nothing we can do. Okay, Denmark is gone, and an operation is started for Sweden as they capture Stockholm and they capture Oslo. And so the two headquarters of this team are gone. There's just the third one that's still standing. Norway surrenders after capturing of everything but the Swedish Lapland. The Swedish Lapland surrenders. And then a march is made to the Kola Peninsula, and it is successful. And a march is made to Karelia, and successful. And Scottish English troops are able to make Iceland and Greenland surrender, and they say, surrender, let's meet for peace, please, 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 let me survive. Okay guys, so here's our peace treaty. I mean, you could recognize this. So Spain and Portugal did not change at all. France controls the Sudetenland and Wallonia, this part of Belgium. There's a new country called Great Britain, just the island of Great Britain. There's the island of Ireland, a country, okay, the Republic of Ireland, controlling all of this. There's the Netherlands controlling also Flanders, this part of Belgium. And also we have a Germany, just without, it's like present day Germany, but it does not control Bavaria. Like, this is today's Germany, and this is the Germany in this scenario. So should we leave it at this? No, we shouldn't, because that's the scenario, okay? We have a huge OP Czechoslovakia. We have Romania. It's still the World War II Romania, like today's more like this, but it's like that. We have a Hungary with its capital here. It's still a World War II Hungary, because today Hungary ends like here, but it's fine. It's Hungary. Here we have Romania with their capital at Bucharest. It controls Moldova, because Moldova loves Romania. Here we have a Bulgaria, and at the capital of Sofia. Here we've got an Italy. Let me show you this Italy. That's Italy, guys. It's a Roman Empire 2.0. It's still getting stronger, okay? It's like the worst version. The part 3 is gonna be better. And we have a Macedonia. We have an Austria, a Poland, a Denmark, and a Greenland separated, an Iceland, a North Russia, because this is South Russia, and this is East Russia, or just Russia proper, I don't know. We have Sweden and a Norway, a Baltic state, and a left alone Finland with 2024 or present day border. This is our new Europe, if that scenario existed. I mean, it's pretty similar to today's Europe, except today's Europe has a Belgium, a Luxembourg, a Northern Ireland, there's a Czech and a Slovakia, German Bavaria, there's Kosovo. Italy does not control all of this. It's different, but it can remind you of the present day. Okay guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tell me if you anticipated that the orange team would win. I love y'all so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!